It's that time again. Save money now and buy these Nintendo Switch games before it's too late. I have years of experience buying games at the end of past console generations for cheap prices, and now some of them are worth hundreds, if not thousands. So I've spent hours going through the full Switch catalogue to let you know which games I feel will go up in value and the reasons why. Stick around until near the end of the video, as I've included a bonus item that isn't quite a game, but it's something you need to act on now and collect while the time is right. I want to thank everyone that watched the previous video in the series. Your support means a lot. We're building a great community, and I can't thank you all enough. Okay, let's get to the games. Okay, so first up today we have Morbid, the 7 Acolytes, and I'm going to pair this one up with our second choice of today as well, which is Morbid, the Lords of Ire. These two games are kind of 3D isometric horror type of games. They're described as horror punk action RPG filled with Lovecraftian horrors and Cronenberg gore, making it a gruesome take on the isometric Souls-like genre. And that's a bit of a mouthful, but basically what you want to take from this is it's horror infused, there's a lot of gore, a lot of action, and I think these two have kind of flown a bit under the radar in Nintendo Switch. And you can of course pick these up on the eShop if you're interested. If they sound like they're up your alley, that is an option for you. They have gone on sale from time to time. That's when I picked them up, but I really liked the experience on them, so I had to get the physical, and it is available for a half decent price. And I think these have potential to go up the way. Anytime you get an indie game that's kind of flowing slightly under the radar and isn't super popular, there's always a chance that it'll increase in value over time. And regardless of whether it increases in value or not, you've got a couple of really cool experiences if you like the horror and Souls-like kind of genre. Another Code. So this is a collection of the two games that are available in the Another Code series, the first and second game that originally came out on Nintendo DS. With it being a Nintendo kind of published game, usually those are in pretty big supply, but there are a few ones that kind of fly under the radar and end up becoming more valuable. And I think this Another Code collection has that written all over it. It's not going to sell massive numbers and big copies. I don't think it's going to hit the top 10 or 15 list in terms of Switch games sold, and it's more on that style of kind of like an indie or underground type of experience that people kind of say, this was great, have you ever tried it? And the majority of people are going to say no. It certainly seemed that way on the Nintendo DS. I'm about halfway through this collection currently at the minute, and I've really enjoyed my time with it. I love the updates, especially the graphical update they've given this one. It's excellent. It's relatively story driven, there's this kind of mystery story, puzzle elements to the game as well. It's a neat experience, and the best bit about this is, at the moment you can pick this up for under £30. I'm sure you can get it for under $30 if you look around in the right places, and you're getting a collection of two games for the price of one basically. And I say it will probably go up in value in the future as well. Splatoon 2. Now this one might surprise people that we're talking about Splatoon 2. You kind of think it's been out for a while, there's loads of copies of this sold, but that's not exactly what we're talking about. This version that I'm talking about is the Japanese exclusive version that comes with the DLC expansion on the cartridge. I only recently learned that this was a thing, and I knew there was Japanese carts for Mario Kart, for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for the Pokemon games that come with the DLC, and I think as physical collectors these are really, really important items. It's something that we should support, we should show love for, because we don't want to see physical games go away. I loved Splatoon 2 when it came out. I sunk a ton of hours into it. I didn't end up playing too much of the Octo expansion, to be honest, but now I've picked up this physical and I plan to get back to it. There is one pretty bad caveat though. Switch of course is region free, so you can pick this one up, and for collection's sake, I've picked it up. I have the other carts with the DLC on them. I do plan to make a video on them on the future. I'll link it here if it's already been made, and you can go in and click on this one and look at that. But the only language option available on this one, unfortunately, is Japanese. So for us here in the West, it's really going to be your hardcore type of collectors that want this one. The ones that want all the kind of exclusive with DLC cartridges in the physical format. I imported it from Japan. It was a hassle getting it. I had to go through a few hoops to get it. I had to get it sent to someone in another country who then forwarded it on to me. But as a big Splatoon player, as someone who loves the franchise, as someone who loves physical games, you may feel the same way as I do and want to pick this one up for collection's sake. And if you do, you know what you're getting. Splatoon 2 is an excellent game. And when we're talking about cartridges with the DLC included, I thought I would add another one on here as well because it's pretty recent, and I know at least in the UK this is an awesome price at the moment. We have Pokemon Scarlet or Violet plus the DLC on the cartridge. Now these games, whether you liked them or hated them, they have been quite divisive. I personally liked it. I like the direction they're going, but as with a lot of people, the performance issues really did kind of sour things for me. But if you're wanting to pick these up, if you've been on the fence, this is the edition to get. And right now, at least as I'm recording this in the UK, Pokemon Scarlet with the DLC, you can pick it up on Amazon UK for £40. Now, if you look at the other previous generation of Pokemon, Sword and Shield, with the DLC on the cartridge, you're looking to pay £80, £90, £100, somewhere in around there. Really high prices on those ones because they include the DLC. If this game goes anywhere near that, you're going to be super happy that you picked it up brand new and sealed for £40. So it's something to think about if you're a Pokemon fan or a collector in general, that this one may go up the way. There are performance issues and that's a real shame, but it's something to look out for. Next up, we have Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star. And for our American viewers out there, I don't think this got a physical release in the United States, but the really good news is, obviously Switch being region free is great. You can pick up either a Japanese version of this, or probably would be more suited to you, you can pick up a European version, which means the box art and everything is going to be in English. The first couple of fitness boxing games I actually got and really enjoyed. The second one didn't make too many developments on what you done in the gameplay of the first title, but they're really solid. If you're into those kind of fitness games, you're looking to maybe get in better shape while still playing some video games, they're awesome titles for that. But why do I think this Fist of the North Star version will be really hard to get is because it's fitness boxing crossed with Fist of the North Star. It's completely insane. It's really crazy. Fitness boxing, I don't think, is even like a massive kind of trend, especially here in Europe. I don't think it's kind of blowing anyone away with its reviews or sales numbers. The same thing with Fist of the North Star, so combining those two things together, it's just complete craziness. It seems like something you would never expect to happen and come together, but it has come together. And yeah, I just think because this one is so odd and so strange, it has the potential down the line to become pretty expensive. And the good news is, at the moment, it's kind of dropped off. So when it came out, it was £40 or £50, the full price. But I did pick this one up for £30 in the UK at least anyway, so the price has dropped. You may even be able to pick it up second hand for even less than that. But keep your eyes peeled, it should be an easy one to import for any of the American viewers as well. A crazy game that I would never have expected, but I'm glad it's on Switch. The next game today is Hack, and this again comes from Super Rare Games. We talk about them a lot on the show, and the reason that they come up a lot is because they have awesome editions of really cool indie games. Whoever is part of their team that's behind the kind of curation of what type of games they get, and the studios and developers that they go for to try and publish these games, they make excellent picks. I would say pretty much 4 out of every 5 releases of theirs I'm interested in some way, and Hack was no different. It's one of their more interesting titles of their recent releases. It's found its way perfectly onto the Nintendo Switch, which is really becoming an epic Metroidvania machine. And even though it's a crowded market for Metroidvania games, Hack definitely stands out for me. You play in this kind of cyber wasteland type of environment. You're going on a search to find your lost brother. The art style for this one looks amazing. It's really dark and dim looking. You kind of get those shadowy effects where you're silhouetted on the screen while you play. It's really cool, it's fast paced, the power-ups and upgrades in this one are awesome, and it's a really great title. Look out for this one. Again, if you're in the UK, you can pick it up at CEX to try and save a bit on the price if you're finding eBay to be relatively high, but Hack is definitely a good one to look out for. And earlier on, we talked about some fitness elements with Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star. So the final item today, that's the bonus item, a collectible physical piece for your collection that's not necessarily a game. Well, this one, it came with a game, and it is Ring Fitness, but I'm talking about the actual ring device itself. Why do I think this will be collectible down the line? Well, the simple fact is, it sold a lot of units, but this is, in theory, a piece of exercise equipment. It's going to get used, it's going to get bashed around, it's going to get sweated on, dropped, pulled too hard. It's going to be destroyed, and picking up something like this in really good condition, and I'm talking about the leg strap that came with it as well, it's going to be hard to do in the future, I think. And that's why, if you're anyway interested in this title and the add-on, maybe you're collecting all types of different Switch controllers, Joy-Cons, add-ons, this is one to think about getting now whilst it's readily available, instead of down the line. I'm hoping one day we actually get a sequel to the game. That would be awesome, and it'll maybe make this one even more prevalent. I think they could sell a sequel for this one definitely, but perhaps we'll have to wait for the Switch 2 for that to come along. Look, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.